and in the, what's the first step in doing this? Then the fourth conversation after those first three is dissent, where you honestly talk about, well, what doesn't quite feel right? Where am I feeling a little bit of pressure here? Where am I? What is some negativity that's coming up that I need to address? And then I think the last two is accountability. Holding yourself accountable for your feelings and for your intentions. And then finally, it's the commitment. You make the commitment to follow through on whatever the project is that you're going to create. So that's my intention, is to have more of these conscious conversations where we look at models, like what we're experiencing spiritually or in our businesses or socially. What are some of these what are some of these modalities? What are some of these for lack of a better word, cults? That we really need to have honest conversations about. And I think that starts with...
No, and if we regulate ourselves to just having certification in these areas and not real life or degrees, if you will, or not real life experiences, if we regulate ourselves to certification and degrees, we're absolutely limiting ourselves to the possibilities and new innovations and ideas that could, push us forward.
Yeah, that's another beautiful thing about this inquiry cluster, is that we haven't told the group yet, what our background is, what our certifications are, what our education is. We just talk to each other as people. I think that's going to start to get introduced now here, in this process, and I'm going to share this conversation with my friends who are involved with that, and start talking openly about what is really going on here, how to really solve these problems, and how to have those deeper conversations.
Awesome. This has been another great episode, and I am looking forward to more conversations like this. And I thank you for coming on the show. I know your time is limited as well, so I don't want to keep you much longer, but is there anything else you wanted to add to today's conversation?
No, I just want to say that, yes, time is limited, but this is where it's at for me. This is the time where we're making that difference. And I'd like to invite who's listening to come forward and tell us their story. Some of your listeners have come forward already, and I hope we can start to nurture those relationships even further. And this is where it's at. It's just being real, and some of the things that we can't necessarily talk about on the air, we can talk about interpersonally, and in confidence with each other. And that's, I'd like to encourage that as being real.
Yeah, and possibly some new show ideas as well. So, I know that some of the listeners have written into you and contacted you about coming on the podcast, and I'm looking forward to that. And I really appreciate having this, new network and support. It's something I'm not used to, because I've been relatively isolated for sharing my truth for a long time now. And so I'm acclimating as well. Just be patient with me. But
yeah, that's great.
It's amazing. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Amelia. Thank you for having me on the show today, and to be continued.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude the show. I will call you back afterwards, real quick. And great job today to you and Janet. And everyone, this has been another episode of Porthole to Justice, the window to the truth. I'm your host, Amelia Duran, and you can support my content on patreon.com. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And most recently, I just did a marketing campaign for mylocator.com. Mylocator.com is a new social media platform for people to locate friends and family worldwide. And we're also hoping to stem the targeting online for human trafficking. We're hoping to help locate friends and family when they go missing in that time window of the police not being able, that 24-hour time window that's so crucial for human trafficking targeted victims. So mylocator.com, check it out, new social media platform. And thanks so much, guys, for tuning in with us today.